Hello. This episode is about a morning routine for lucid dreamers. It's so frustrating when you wake up after an epic dream and it's just gone. You start grasping at straws, you're trying to recall it, but it's just fading away. You know it was full of insight, messages, wisdom, maybe even an incredible idea, or perhaps you even managed to actually get lucid and now it's all just a bit of a blur. So much dreamy goodness goes to waste, and a lot of this is because of morning routines and rituals. So for this training, I'm going to provide you with 3 super unique tips that I think should be a part of every lucid dreamer's morning routine. If you're someone who usually has to wake up at a particular time, maybe that's for work, and you're used to being jolted awake by a jarring alarm clock, you're going to love some of what I share today, which will bring you a much more relaxing morning. Or if you're someone who, quite frankly, just easily forgets your dream content, these tips may surprise you and you'll be able to start putting them into practice straight away. In addition to this, you might be someone who just doesn't have much time in the morning to sit and journal, or maybe you have lots of other things on your mind, so your dreams get all jumbled up and you're never sure of what to write on the page. Some of these strategies are going to be a game changer for you as well. If you don't know me, I am Lana Sackwild. I am the founder of Get Lucid with Lana, and I also run an online course called the Lucid Entrepreneur Lab. If you're watching this live stream in my new Lucid Dreaming and Living Facebook community, then welcome to the club. I'm so excited to have you with us today. And if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe for weekly resources and content on lucid dreaming and living for personal, professional, and transpersonal mastery, and in general, living your best life. So let me know who you are in the comments or in the chat, your lucid dreaming level, any goals you're working on, and where you're tuning in from as well. Whilst this isn't a Zoom session training, I do love when you guys are participating as well. I think the whole talking to myself thing and just seeing the little Facebook eye with how many people are watching but not saying anything is a little bit weird. So feel free to introduce yourself. Let me get to know you guys as well. I've been lucid dreaming for 25 plus years now. I've worked with hundreds of people who have struggled starting up their own lucid dreaming practice and have implemented just one of the 3 strategies that I'm going to share with you guys today. And they've found that this will 10x their dream recall, and they've been able to experience a lucid dream this way too. So I'm going to keep this training short, sweet. I'm just going to be sharing the 3 strategies so that you can start implementing today or tomorrow morning. Grab yourself a notebook, open up a Word document or somewhere where you can take notes as we go along, so that by the end of this video, you will have a list of techniques just to get started working with, and you'll be ready to go. If you love a strategy, if you want to give it a go, I would appreciate if, like I said, you guys comment, let me know what you're thinking as we're going through this. Tag a friend in the video or share this if it might benefit someone who you know. If we haven't connected before, do feel free to just introduce yourself, like I said. And if you have questions, by all means, post those and I will take the time to go through and respond to all comments and questions personally. So let's dive in. Strategy 1 is switching light for sound. So the first part of your morning routine, which is often overlooked by many people, is literally how you actually wake up, right? Most people have become accustomed to waking up to an alarm clock. And I think this is the saddest part of a morning routine. Having the first thing that you hear, the first noise to start your day, being its purpose to just disturb you and jolt you out of your dream world. It has people waking up feeling a little bit dazed, a little bit confused, and quite often probably not in the best mood either. Our bodies and our minds are designed to wake up using light. We literally have chemical reactions going on in our brains in connection to this. Shout out to the circadian rhythms. This is a real thing. So one of the best ways you can enhance your morning routine is by trashing the jarring alarm clock and actually investing in a light-based wake up. I use a light-based alarm, which I got off of Amazon, and I'm gonna paste the link in the comments now for you below or somewhere in the description of this video, because this was a serious game changer for me. They aren't expensive. You don't have to get the particular brand, but I do like this one for several reasons. So you can set it on a timer of 15, 30, or 45 minutes, whatever your preference is, and you can have its brightness wake you up with light rather than sound. So it starts off at a deep kind of red color, and then at your selected time, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter until it's bright yellow or bright white. So kind of like a natural sunrise. For those of us in colder areas, the world right now, where we're waking up and it's dark, this is another particularly pleasing part, I think, of this wake up technique. This particular alarm that I put in the link also has options for softer, natural wake up sounds like birds chirping that can get louder and louder. So you can still have it activate sound if you are worried that without sound you wouldn't wake up. In my experience working with hundreds of students, a jarring alarm is one of the many reasons why dream recall is an issue. And if dream recall is an issue for you, you're going to really struggle with lucidity, or as I said earlier, you're going to find it really frustrating if you're in a lucid dream and you then just can't recall that because of being woken up with a really jarring alarm sound and a horrible wake up process. So light is, in addition to this, another factor that you can actually use it to trigger your lucid dreams. You might have seen some of those face masks for lucid dreaming, and they use flashing lights to trigger lucidity. But actually, if you set up this alarm clock the right way for yourself, you may even be able to notice light within your dream space getting brighter and brighter and brighter as you're dreaming, and this can become a lucidity trigger for you as well, and it might give you that 15 to 45 minutes of lucid dreaming before you actually wake up. There's quite a few additional features that are really cool with this particular alarm clock, but another one that's particularly useful for lucid dreamers is that you can actually record your own messages on this alarm. So if you're someone who wants to experiment with hearing a message inside of your dream, this is a great way to try that. So, you can record a message like, "Lana, you're dreaming right now," and you can set the alarm to go off saying that, 30 or 45 minutes before your scheduled wake up. And you can actually hear this inside of your dream, and that can be another great way to trigger lucidity for yourself in the morning. Obviously, if you're going to use the alarm for this method, then you might want another alarm set up to actually wake you up, or you want to have the right techniques in place for you to be able to wake yourself up from a dream, from a lucid dream on your own after you've completed your lucid dreaming task. So that was strategy 1, switching sound for light. Strategy 2 is observing foundational dream signs. Lots of us do not have the luxury of waking up as I do on my own schedule, or most people have things to do immediately in the morning, right? Maybe you have a really important meeting that day, or you've got to get to the office, or your brain is just thinking about other stuff going on, planning your day. You don't have the time to sit down and just journal on your dreams. This is where lots of people give up on a lucid dreaming practice because they can't begin to pick out those recurring themes and patterns that will eventually be used to trigger lucidity for them. As I primarily work with entrepreneurs and people who are looking to expand their careers and their business practices, I've come up with lots of different modalities that can record the most important dream elements for enhancing lucidity without it having to take a lot of time for you in the morning. And the 4 foundational dream sign elements that I recommend to start with are the characters, the environments, the emotions, and the objects, or the CEO method, as I often refer to them. This is a really simple technique. All it requires is you blocking out a page in your journal, or even a scrap piece of paper, or a sticky pad, whatever you want. Having this next to your bed, cutting it in 4, and just having these foundational dream sign elements at each corner of the page. Then upon awakening, you can just bullet point real quick for each of these points. Who were the characters? Jake from high school, or my mom. Where was I? Oh, I was back in my old high school classroom or childhood home. Quickly jot that down. How was I feeling? Oh, maybe a bit scared, or I was in a rush, or I was panicked because I was doing a test, whatever the emotions were. And then objects comes into it with like clothes you notice you were wearing. Oh, I was in my puffer jacket and it was snowing, or there was a puppy or a Christmas tree in the room, whatever you want, right? By writing down even just one of these foundational dream sign elements from each category, bullet point them, you can pretty quickly start storing the main parts of the dream without taking up all that much time for yourself. This is great for people who are busy. It's also great for people who have a mixed narrative. Sometimes it's just really hard to wake up and really narrate what was going on in your dream, and you've got your journal open and you're trying to put words on the page, but it's not coming together and it all starts fading away, right? So if you can just note down these really foundational elements, the characters, the environments, the objects, and the emotions, you can still have enough data without it taking a lot of time for you to start up a solid lucid dreaming practice. The idea with this is that you'll be able to use these foundational elements to personalize your own reality checks. If you've ever heard me talk about lucid dreaming, you'll know that I'm all about personalization. I feel really sad when I hear people who spend years trying to do these generalized techniques, or they can't remember stuff in the morning, or they're, switching lights on and off during the day 20 times and trying to look at clocks, and none of that is showing up for them in their dream space, and so they're actually just wasting a lot of their time. To get a consistent and purposeful lucid dreaming practice, you need personalization. And if that's the stage you're at, or something you're looking for more help with, please comment on this video. Just write the words personalization or message me saying personalization, and I will be more than happy to send you a message and really help you out with this part of your practice. A really important part of this is recalling something every single morning. If you ever can't recall a character, an environment, an object, or anything else, you can always recall an emotion. We usually wake up with the lingering emotions from our dreams. That's why if you wake up from a nightmare, you're covered in sweat, right? You're drenched, your heart's racing. Or if you have a really powerful lucid dream, I have so many of my students text me really early in the mornings. They're like, I'm so pumped right now. They've got so much clarity, so much energy, or whatever, because they just woke up from having this huge business breakthrough, or they have that just general breakthrough energy that you get that transfers into your waking life from the lucid dream space. So students, in the same way that I've worked with for depression studies, they've sometimes had those happy emotions linger in their waking state from their dream work practices for months and months and months, which is really amazing. If you can't recall any part of your dream, don't just write nothing. Don't give up on the practice. Check in with yourself in the morning and just write down, even if it's one word, how you're feeling that morning. Later in the day, you might have flashbacks, dream flashbacks. I have a video on how to induce dream flashbacks connected to emotions, and the whole dream comes flooding back. So if you want more information on that, again, type flashback below. I will send you the link for that. It's a free video that I have on my YouTube. If not, my advice is simply journal on that emotion in connection to your waking life when you wake up. So that's strategy 2, just observing those foundational dream signs. And the last strategy, strategy 3, is maybe a little bit controversial, or it might seem like the total opposite of what I just told you to do, but hear me out. Strategy 3 is not recording your dream. This probably sounds really counterintuitive, but an important part of building dream recall and being able to actually remember your dreams naturally. This requires you to build up a natural recall skill rather than being someone who just immediately reaches for your journal, your voice recorder, your app, whatever you're using to record your dreams in. How many of you have recorded a dream in the morning and then within 30 minutes you can't actually even remember what that dream was about that you wrote down 30 minutes prior? Or you've gone back through your journal to look at some of the patterns coming up, and there's hundreds of dreams that you've had and you've obviously written them down, but you don't even remember having these dreams. Like, you know you wrote them, but you can't even recall the memory of the dream. Whilst recording dreams often helps you to build up recall and look over really important themes, important patterns that are arising, there are particular dreams, especially if you're an advanced lucid dreaming practitioner, that should be shared and should be worked rather than just stored and recorded. You've heard of digital dementia, right? Where we're all using our phones, heavily relying on technology to remember everything for us. And so our cognitive abilities to remember information without these devices is really declining. The same can be said for purely relying on storing your dreams in your journal. If you use a voice recorder, if you use your notes app on your phone, or you're someone who just jots down your dreams in your journal, and you're like, done, snap it shut, without a second thought, you're going to notice that when you go back through your records, there's a ton of dreams that you don't have any memory of, and it's quite hard in general to recall. This is fine for beginners, right? If you're moving into that intermediate to advanced category and you want to really make the most of dream work practices, be able to contain that information at a deeper level, this is not a good habit to get into for the dreams, especially that you find really profound or that contain very powerful messages, insights, and breakthroughs for you. When you have a dream that just shakes you at the soul level, when you awaken with a message or an experience that comes from divine source, those dreams can just transform your life or give you kind of a loving slap of reality. We've all been there. I strongly recommend that you don't just brain dump these kinds of dreams. You don't just write it down and dump it in your journal. Every single night, if you're looking to move from that beginner to intermediate kind of dreamer, you want to start picking one night a week where you will purposefully set the intention of recalling your dream in the morning naturally without writing it down. This dream you just want to go over in your mind upon awakening, really see it as a gift trying to move through you. It's calling out for you to work with it, to pay attention to it. And rather than recording it in your journal, what you want to do is talk through and walk through the dream with someone. This is where communities like this Facebook group and my own private communities in the Lucid Entrepreneur Lab can really come in handy, when you can be a part of a dream circle or a dream community, share about it, speak it into the universe, and really solidify that dream experience in your mind, reworking the dream for maybe lucid or altered perspectives and further analysis. Or you can really think about, what was this dream's call to action, and actually follow through on some of those things. If you're a lucid dreamer, you're looking to become a lucid dreamer or an advanced practitioner, your reaction upon awakening should be, I gotta record this immediately because I'm gonna forget this dream in 3 seconds if I don't. This practice is really for you. I'm at the point now where I never record dreams immediately upon awakening, but I simply replay them over and over in my mind, and I start piecing together the messages, the insights. Sometimes I'll think about a dream all day before I go over it and actually record it, or even several days sometimes before officially recording it in my journal. And some dreams I just never record pen to paper because I genuinely want to remember them. They're an experience that I've had that's powerful, and if this was a lucid dream, this is even more so, a conscious experience of mine, just like any other day in my life that's really important for me, and I want to cherish that in my mind. So I recommend you to do the same if you're serious about this practice. So to sum up, to create a great morning routine as a lucid dreamer, you'll want to 1. Switch out sound for a light-based awakening. 2. Observe and start collecting your foundational dream signs. And 3. You're gonna want to advance your practice to where you're spending maybe just 1 day a week to start, where you don't record your dreams, but instead you share them, you work with them through your mind, or you start strengthening that natural recall practice and start taking lucid action in your waking life, so that you're really bridging that gap between your dream state and your waking state, and not having them as two totally separate realms. So if you enjoyed this training, please let me know. If there's a strategy that you're for sure like, I'm gonna implement this, please comment below with which strategy that is and why you think that strategy in particular will really help you improve your lucid dreaming practice. This kind of affirmation goes a really long way, so don't underestimate how kind of putting that comment out there or speaking this into reality, into the world, will really make a proper change for you. Just like the mild technique, mnemonic induction of lucid dreams, simply affirming that I'm gonna lucid dream tonight works, right? If you've given that a go. This has been studied, it's scientific, so if you say, I'm not gonna physically record my dream tonight so that I can wake up with a stronger natural recall tomorrow, you will. And if there are other areas of lucid dreaming that you're interested in, or you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat, and I will go through all the comments and reply to them personally, and maybe even pick some of those things to do as future trainings. I will be here again next Friday at the same time in the Lucid Dreaming and Living Facebook community. If you are someone who is interested in developing your lucid dreaming and lucid living practice for goals in connection to personal development, creativity, empowerment, entrepreneurial and business expansion, anything like that, I would love to hop on a free 45-minute Zoom call with you and help you to map out your lucid growth plan and take you on the next steps to moving forward with your practice. I do only have space for 3 people this week. If you would like to be one of them, please comment below or DM me just saying lucid growth, and I will get you booked into one of those 3 slots. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Happy Friday. I hope to see you in here again next week. I'm Lana Sackwald, and I'm wishing you all a week full of big dreams, lucidity, and abundance. Bye.